Findologic video dev news for November 2021. My name is Georg Sort, I'm a principal engineer at Findologic and I'm excited to give you the latest product updates. Continuing in the spirit of the last video dev news, I want to introduce another of the Findologic APIs that you can use to integrate Findologic into your website, into your online store. The API we'll be looking at today is the Assisted Suggest API. So it's a suggest functionality, so users get recommendations, suggestions while they're typing. Let's first take a look at the Assisted Suggest in action, so you can see what you'll be getting with the API. And for this, I'm looking at one of our customers, Sportbittel, who are selling sports equipment. So the first feature of the Assisted Suggest API is the first click interaction. So I'll just click in the search field and it will already display product suggestions, query suggestions, even before typing anything. And maybe your users will already find this useful, might already find the top selling product or some helpful search recommendations even before they start typing. Let's say I want to get fit, I want to start running, so I'll just start typing something here. Let's say I'll start typing run. And you can already see I get some suggestions, search suggestions, so things I can search around the topic of running. There's category suggestions that will be helpful here and also some recommendations for products. Let's keep typing, so I'll go to running and let's say I need some running shoes. So I'll type in running shoes and you can already see again, I'm getting search suggestions, I'm getting some product recommendations for running shoes. And there are already suggestions for categories, and I guess running shoes is what I'll be looking for. And so if I'm happy with the suggestions, but there's probably not the right product in here already, so I want to take a look at what else the website has to offer, I can just press enter, of course, and I will get to the full search result page, which of course has much more products and extensive filtering, so I can drill down on the exact product I'm looking for. So this is the implementation, what the Assisted Suggest looks like on the website, but today I want to focus on the API that you can use to do a custom integration of our Assisted Suggest feature. So you can find the specification for the API at our documentation. We will put the URL in the description, and the endpoint we will be focusing on today is the Autocomplete.php endpoint. And yeah, right away from this specification site, you can already try it out in an easy way without having to set up any extra tools. So I'll just go here for the try it out feature, and I will be putting in a shop key here, so an API key. Here we go, and if I scroll down a bit, and I need to configure this to the result type result_v4. This is the Assisted Suggest result type. And if I click on execute, you can already see here I'll get some recommendations. So there's some products in there, let's scroll down. So I haven't configured any other blocks. We will look at this in a moment. But yeah, this is enough. Just submit this shop key and there will already be some default recommendations, in this case product recommendations. So let's switch over to Postman, which is a bit more nice to look at and a bit easier to handle than this inline specification. So if I already put in a request here for Postman, let's make this a bit larger. And this is one of our demo sites, so don't mind the results. And I've also put in here a number of autocomplete blocks. So autocomplete blocks is the feature or the configuration you use to say which kind of recommendation should be displayed or returned by the Assisted Suggest API. So in this case, I have in here top queries, which will suggest top queries for the first click interaction before user typing anything. So the most popular search suggestions, search queries on the website. We have products here, so this will recommend products based on the input or just the top sellers if the user hasn't written anything in the search field. Cat for category suggestions, and suggest for general text or search recommendations, so what users can look for, what they can search for. You can see here the query is empty, so this is sort of the first click interaction that you can use when the user is just clicking in the search field without having typed in anything. That's just an empty query. So let's take a look at this. And you can see here, so there's a bunch of top queries in here. Apparently the most popular query on this demo site is back. And there's some product recommendations below. And if I scroll down some more, oh yeah, because I haven't typed in anything, so there's no category suggestions. And let's say I actually want to look for a bag, I want to buy a bag. So I'll just start typing in BA, and let's see what the recommendations will be in this case. So of course there's still the top query of bag. Now there's some category suggestions, so different categories where bags are put in. And again, of course, still product recommendations around the search term around BA, so this will be mostly bags. And there's also search recommendations, so text suggestions, so words starting with BA, which is of course the bag, but there's also backpack in there, Raccoon, which I guess is a brand in this demo site. And yeah, so on. So this will simulate how the user is typing in. Let's complete this and type in bag. So we still have the search recommendation, and yeah, there's the categories here in which bags are sold, more products, and more search suggestions. So now it's suggesting also different related words. So for example, if I'm typing in bag, this could be bag business or bag sports. So they're selling different kinds of bags, so this will guide the user what they can search for next. And yeah, that's how simple it is to use Assisted Suggest API. And yeah, you can use it to implement whatever you like, however you want it to look in the front end. We have the integration I showed you before. This is kind of our recommendation, what this Assisted Suggest might look like. But of course, it's an API, so you can do whatever you want with it and implement it any way you like. And as you just saw in Postman, it's really easy to use. You just need to submit a couple of parameters, and it will build suggestions based on your product data. Yeah, and this Assisted Suggest API is generally available today, so it's available for our customers. Yeah, of course, it includes many more features than what I've shown now. So of course, you can also address all the merchandising features. It can also recommend landing pages, promotions, and so on. So all the Findologic search and navigation features are also handled in Assisted Suggest API. And the very useful thing is that the product recommendations, so if the user starts typing, they will receive some product suggestions. And if they submit the search, then this will be consistent with the order, and the selection of the products that were suggested is the same products that users will receive on the search result page, on the full search result page. Yeah, this is an Assisted Suggest API. Feel free to use it. It's available in all plans and available generally today, so you can start using it. So another big topic for us recently was to improve the self-service quality around our data sync mechanism. So that's the manual or automatic updates of the product index at Findologic, the update of the products from your website, so we can use them in search and navigation, and of course also the Assisted Suggest. So we made a bunch of quality of life improvements, especially to improve the quality of self-service, so you can more easily solve problems in there, handle them on your own without having to rely on us, and just empower our users. So one of the first things we've built there is to improve the handling of the import list. So in the Findologic account, you can find a list of the most recent automatic or manual imports. And this list, it can get very long. It goes back about a month. So this list of import jobs can get very long. And since this can be a very large list, it can now be sorted by the different columns. For example, you can sort by the start date. You can sort by the duration of the data sync, whether it took a few seconds or some minutes or some hours. And you can also filter the different columns, for example, filter them by status. So I only want to see the data sync jobs that failed. Just click in the column here, I select failure, and now only the data sync jobs that failed are displayed. We also added some additional information, for example, this trigger, which I will get to in a bit. So there's an automatic trigger, which is a scheduled periodic data sync, or there's also still the manual data sync, which you can trigger with the start input button here. And of course, I can also filter that. For example, I just want to see manual data sync jobs, and now this list is filtered to display only the manual data sync jobs. Then another feature we built in there, which will be rolled out in a few weeks, is to have a more extensive display of the data sync logs. So to give some insight into what happened for the data sync logs, that's especially useful if there are some errors, if the data sync didn't go through. And there's this cloud icon here. And if I click on it, I will get an extensive list of logs of information that happened during the import. Again, I can sort this list by timestamp, by message, and of course I can also filter it, for example, by severity. So let's say I only want to see warning messages and don't want to see the informational messages, just the warnings. And again, it's just a simple click to display this information, to drill down this list, to just see warnings or errors in case I want to debug something, figure out what went wrong, and all the useful information is there. This import log display even includes a live view. So if I'm starting an import here, and again, so you can see there's an import running now, data sync running, and if I open the log display, the log messages should be coming in as they happen. So the data sync is running right now, and you can see the list is continuously updated. It's refreshed every couple of seconds, and it will display the most recent information, the most recent logs that was produced by this data sync job, and it's updated as it is running. Again, very useful to see an import as it happens. Also, with these extended display of the log lines, we also added an archive function. So previously it was only possible to access the most recent import log. So you couldn't go back a couple days or a couple weeks to see what went wrong with an import probably. And with this new cloud log display, we have an archive, so you can go back up to 30 days to go back to older data sync jobs and check if there's something maybe wrong in there, if there were some warnings or errors in there, and you can check them 30 days back. This logline display is currently being rolled out, so it's not generally available. We're going to roll this out over the next few weeks, so it should drop in your accounts in the next few weeks. Then another feature we built in there, which is was highly requested, is an option to be able to configure your own data sync schedule. So depending on your plan, this can happen every hour or maybe just every night. So this depends a bit on your plan. And the way the data sync schedule is configured is through so-called cron expressions. So cron expressions is a language that allows you to schedule periodic things. So this is put into this field. So right now it's configured to configure every night at 0:27. You get a nice preview here that will show when this import happens. So you can see if your cron expression is correct. We can also try a few different things. So let's say this should import every hour at every full hour. So this is just 0 and then 4 asterisks. And again, you get the schedule, and now we can see here will import the next data sync will run at 12 o'clock, so in 20 minutes for me right now. You can also say, okay, I want this to run every 3 hours, so this would be the next one would be at 1 p.m. And so like this you can configure the exact import schedule, the exact data sync schedule you need. Could be every night, could be every hour, or anything in between. You could also say, okay, you want this every 2 hours or between 10 and 12. It should happen more often. So it's very flexible way to configure this import schedule to fit your exact needs. Again, this import schedule feature is being currently rolled out. It's not yet generally available, but should also drop into your account in the next few weeks. So, and the final improvement we built around the data syncs is an option to configure recipients for data sync failed mail notifications. So again, this can also be configured in the settings. Let's say I want to receive a notification when the data sync fails. So you could put in yourself, your colleague, your agency, and they will receive a notification mail when the data sync fails. It contains the errors, some hints on how to solve these errors, and you can use this to support your internal processes and react to failed data syncs, fix errors that might occur on your site. The email then looks something like this. So you can see here it contains an error message, and it contains hints to make this helpful hints to help you solve this issue if it's happening on your side. Of course, if an issue is happening on our side, we're going to solve this on our own. But for issues that are out of our control, you will get this notification with helpful hints on how to solve these issues. Yeah, again, this feature with the notification mails, it's not generally available yet and also will be rolled out over the next few weeks. So with all these features that are not yet available, if you're very interested in those and want to try those early on, contact your customer success agent so we can get you set up on the beta test. Of course, we're also very happy to hear general feedback around these topics, and let us know if you want to try these out earlier. That's it for today. Thank you for dropping in. Stay safe and healthy, and see you next time.